So I'm gonna go ahead and, oops. See if I can get out of the PowerPoint. Right. There we go. And go to housekeeping first. So I already talked about the selfie. I want to say congratulations to all our dear ones. Can we just give a big round of applause?
Stand up, if you're over there.
It's a lot of work. We know that. Thank you. We're so happy you're with us. I warned you about Rusty, the photographer, so just know that yes, these pictures will be used. We're going to be rebuilding our website. We're going to be having new flyers. We're going to be doing all kinds of new things, and we want to have the fresh face of the people that are in the network and not stock photos on our website. So that is why he is here, and thank you for just rolling with that, because I know some people are like, it's the end of the day. And then Sign Now, some housekeeping about that. We've gotten some questions about Sign Now. Those will be coming to you end of May. And so your checks for your stipends will be June. The Sign Now will come by end of May. Once you sign it, then we'll set the checks out. Okay. Question?
About the direct deposit, if we got it last year, do we have to continue to do a new one? Okay. So
Now, if you have already direct deposit, you're good.
Okay.
Yes.
When do we get our certificate for your ones?
Good question. When I get them, I will send it to you.
We have to send it from the state, so we requested it from them, and it just takes a while.
It takes about 6-7 weeks, so.
So as soon as you all finish the class, we send it to them, and it just takes a while, but as soon as we get it. Thank you for all those questions. Other questions? Okay, if any other housekeeping comes up, let us know. Oh, shoot, let me just make sure there's questions in the chat. Can you turn up your mic? I don't know if we can. Let's see.
Well, most of our roaming is already.
Yeah.
Maybe just talk a little bit louder.
All right, I'll talk a little bit louder. And do you have her, if you want to talk to her? Maybe just talk. Okay, sorry. This is the joys of trying to be a state network and have everybody together. So like I said, you might have heard rumors. I'm just going to try and be brief, but I do want to tell you that there's something that we call the scope of work that we submit to ECCD. The scope of work says what ECMN is going to do. And it gets refunded every 3 years. So when I came on and took Tani's place in July, the scope of work had 1 year left. And so that means the funding's over, that the state is over as of July 1st, is not funding ECMN anymore unless we write a new scope of work. And so what we did is we wrote that and we asked for 3 more years of funding, and we asked for some changes to expand the network, to get bigger, to get more connected, to do a lot of things. And we really had fun just kind of visioning what would the Mentor network look like if we could have more money, because we know ECCD has a lot of money, right? And we want some of it so we can pass it on to you all. So this is some of the stuff that we have pitched to them. It has not been approved. We have not received the money. We will not know for sure until July. We are told that they want to fund this. So I believe they will fund this. So one thing is recruiting more lead mentors. So we've expanded and we need more lead mentors to run what we call the monthly meetings, right? We're going to make the monthly meetings smaller next year, so we need more leads to run them. So if any of you are interested, talk to Yadida or I about what that might look like if you want to be a lead mentor. We're going to hire another senior program manager in June. So if you know of anyone, or if you are interested in being on the team, the Mentor Network, which we would love to do that. We'd love to hire people who have been mentors and have been part of it. So the salary range is between 60 and 73. We're hoping to post it. Like I said, we're waiting for ECCD, right? So we have to get that money to come through, but if we could post it in June and get it started in July. We may also have a second position was outreach. So having another position, I'm not sure on the salary, it will be lower than this, but it's still, it's not real low. And outreach would be going out and, recruiting mentors and going into centers. So if that's something that interests you, or if you know somebody, just keep a lookout, and we will be sharing that. Long-term goals. So one of the ideas, and we're not gonna call it director hubs now, but it's gonna go through the directors. I think we're gonna call them mentorship hubs. But we have this plan where a center led by that director could have many mentors at their site and use that instead of just going through the universities and the colleges all the time. So then any center, anywhere in the state can become a mentorship hub. And then we can have many mentors there, and then the practicum students can come. And one of the exciting things with that is that we might expand to mentoring first-year teachers. Right? So instead of just practicum students, we're going to offer a stipend to the practicum students. That's also in the plan, that we'd like to pay them as well as the mentoring. Okay. We've also put in a raise for mentoring, so just putting that out there. So we've been increased that. Like I said, putting stipends to mentees. Now this won't happen all right away. This is over the 3 years, right? So we paced it out. And like with this director hubs, we'll probably just start with one center. We're working with Pando School, if you know Pando Little School right now, to be our pilot and to figure out like how it even works. And then learn from that before we expand it to other centers. And then we're gonna have a mentorship conference in spring 2025. And so this is gonna be a statewide conference, and we're gonna bring in from all the spokes. And also, I can't find anything like this in the country. I mean, maybe there is one. I know that UNM has a mentorship conference, but it's all academic. You have to write research paper, and you can only present with that research paper. We want this to be practical, hands-on. We want you all to come and potentially present and teach each other and help each other and connect. So that will be in the spring of 2025. We'll get funded. Okay. So those are some of the exciting changes. And would you mind going to the next slide? If it'll let you. Okay. Thank you. So next year is going to be what we call a transition year. And we're going to hire a company that does our annual evals to do something called the gap analysis and to go out in the state of New Mexico and figure out the state of mentorship in the state of New Mexico. As you may have noticed, there's a lot of redundant or repeating programs out there, right? So ECCD has a lot of money, great, and they have all these new programs and they're just throwing it at early childhood, great, but a lot of these programs are kind of doing the same thing. And so what we saw as a mentor network was like, we want to do our one thing and we want to do it well, and we want to make sure it's needed, and we don't want to be overlapping with other programs. So that's what's going to happen next year, is this gap analysis all over the state, so that we can make sure what we offer is needed and not stepping on other people's toes, or competing for the same teachers or students, because you all know your teachers. I mean, teachers are overwhelmed and so much is expected of you. And so if all these things are coming at you, how do you decide? So we just want to make sure that it is not overwhelming, that mentorship is a rewarding thing, right? And that can do with credits. So the 6 credit class, the mentorship certification class, is going to pause. They're not going to operate next year while we figure this out. One of the big pieces of feedback that we've got is that the class, especially now with the scholarship money available, has been too much. So I'm just gonna be honest. We had about, people in this room that graduated know this. We had about 30 people start in the class in the fall, and we had about 10 finish. And this is not new. And so we continue to get this feedback from mentors. It's too much. The class is too much. And the 6 credits don't go anywhere. They don't go towards a bachelor's, they don't go towards a master's, and that can be very frustrating, and I understand it. And especially when you can get your tuition paid for your bachelor's or your master's at the same time. And I think that's why we lost so many people. And I just want to actually pause and give another round of applause to our dear ones for making it through that. That's a lot. Okay, so until we hear back about the gap analysis, we're going to start trying to figure out what does the class look like. It's not 6 credits. We still want to support the mentors. We still want to have an onboarding. We still want to have you feel like you're ready and that you're supported. So what about next year? So what do? Do we stop taking new mentors? Absolutely not. So this year we're going to have what's called a mandatory 1-day orientation for new mentors. This is not a mentor certificate. Let me say that again. This is not a mentor certificate. It's a way for them to start and get some experience. And that's why the mentor meetings, or what we're calling mentor learning circles, those monthly meetings in small groups of like 8 to 1 with the leaders are going to be essential because they're coming in without the class. Okay, and so we need to really support them along the way. And that will just be for this year. Like I said, it's a transition year. It's a one-time only because we have to take in mentors. Then what we're hoping is summer 2024, we would offer this new mentor certificate course. Everyone that came in this year will still have to take it. They don't get a certificate. They have to do that next year. So if you're recruiting friends to come on board, you can say, hey, you can start. You don't have to do the 6 credit class, but also, by the way, you will still need to get a mentor certificate to continue next summer. But this will be an accelerated class. It will not be for credit. It will have a portfolio-based assessment, and it will be over the summer. And so what we will do is hopefully get that accelerated, intensive. Yes, it's intensive, you'll still get paid to do it, but then you can start right away and be a mentor in the fall. And that's based on the feedback that we got from all the mentors that have gone through it. Of course, if you have thoughts and feedback about how to make it better, we are listening. This is not set in stone. So these are just our thoughts. I'm gonna go through watching my time. And then if you do have questions, please, you've got that notebook, you've got that ECMN pen, write them down, save them. I want to answer your questions too. So as you're recruiting, here's another really cool thing that we would like to do. Recruit retired teachers or those who have recently left the classroom to conduct hybrid mentoring. So what would that look like? It would be 30 hours where the mentor observes the mentee in the mentee's classroom and then 15 of virtual support. Why is this? Well, as you also know, after COVID, it's been much harder to get practicum students to come into the mentor teacher's classroom. They have their jobs, and understandably, they need to make a living and they can't afford it. It is a hardship for practicum students to do this more and more. So how can we instead mentor them so they can stay in their school and still get a good mentor? So this hybrid mentoring is what we're hoping. Now, of course, if you're sitting here right now and you're like, I want a hybrid mentor, and you think you can still do it, you don't have to be retired to do that. But I just don't know how that works if you have a full-time job in a classroom, how you would need to go observe them for 30 hours. But if you want to try and figure that out, we would love to figure that out with you. So this is the hybrid mentoring. If you have people you know who left, maybe went home to have a baby, they just left an early childhood, they're taking a year off but want to pick up some money and mentor and can go observe, this might be perfect for them. So we have this virtual mentoring that we mentioned. This is different from PLCs, but some people just doing straight virtual mentoring. Hybrid, which is this, and in person. We need to clearly, ECMN needs to make a better, like in our handbook and also probably for the kickoff, we will have clearer definitions of what those look like, because I understand it's still kind of fuzzy. We're gonna have our leadership retreat this summer. What day are we having it? Help me remember.
The 8th.
The 8th. So all the lead mentors are coming, all the scope managers, and we're gonna work on some of this. Because we don't want it to just be us deciding this. So we're gonna pool our resources. Please contribute if you have thoughts about how do we define each one of these. Okay, the next slide. Director network and infant toddler teacher network. So, we've got these 3 gears, right? Mentor network, infant toddler, and directors. And we felt like they were kind of separate. And we call it the mentor network, and then the director, and then the toddler was kind of, so we're trying to bring those 3 together. So I'm so excited to have directors here. And so we want to continue that. All our in-person meetings from now on, we're inviting the directors and the infant and toddler teachers. We just want to, and the students, the practicum students, we want to bring everyone. So what does that look like? For one, those in-person meetings, I want to say that we are not going to have a December meeting next year. So we'll just have the kickoff, and then we'll have the end of year celebration. And that will be next year in that transition year. And then the following year, we'll have kickoff, and then we'll have the mentorship conference in the spring. Yes, yes. So that will hopefully be how, and then we can still have meetings like within that of the directors and of the infant toddler and so on. So we're going to offer monthly meetings in English and Spanish for our directors and our infant and toddler teachers. If you're familiar with the ITTN program, you may know that it was part of this. They used a PITC class. You may be familiar with that. If you're not, it's okay. But That is going away. PITC will still be offered, I think, through Santa Fe City College, and I think Jackie and Claudia will still offer it, if you're familiar with that, it'll still be available to teachers, but it will not be ITTN. So ITTN is gonna be totally reimagined, we're really excited. We have 4 awesome lead mentors who are taking the lead, who have experience both as lead mentors and infant and toddler teachers. And they're gonna run these infant toddler learning circles, what we're calling ITLCs. These will be 90 minutes each month. They'll integrate PITC, but also other methods. And there'll be a stipend. So if you know infant and toddler teachers that are at your school that you want to do that, then that I would please recruit. And it'll be in English and Spanish, 2 different cohorts. And then also with our director learning circles or DLCs. This will be 1 hour a month, director-led topics. And they'll be led by director leads and in English and Spanish as well. And so when we start doing those director hubs, like what I was talking about, this is also going to start bringing these communities together to start talking. So this is our goal. So if you have a director that you know, please bring them our way, English or Spanish, that wants to be in the director network and are infant toddler teachers. So that's my recruit for that. And if you have thoughts about how to bring those groups more together, let us know. And then I think I just have one more slide. And then I'm going to hand it over to Dita for the application. Yes. So the application, as you know, is new this year, and you have to create a new profile. So Edie's going to talk about that. There is a resume requirement, and you have to have a reference, and sometimes that takes a while. So even though the deadline is July 1st, I would recommend getting on it, because sometimes it's getting the reference to turn that in. But infant and toddler teachers and directors, the deadline is August 15th, so way more time. So I'm going to pause before I hand it over to you, Dita, and because that was a lot, I know, and just questions, and maybe you just need to simmer and not, but questions about any of that. Yes.
On the new application, can you give us a confirmation that we filled it out? Because I think I filled it out, but I'm not 100% sure.
If you submit your application and I see it and I accept it, you will receive an email saying, welcome to the Mentor Network. If for some reason I need something, you will get an email from ECMN saying, hey, please go back to your application and need to upload this. You will get emails. So please, please, please check those emails.
Yes.
And I will gonna talk more about it.
Is there another slide after that, or is the next slide? Yeah, the next slide's here. So I'm gonna, before any other questions for me. Okay, if you do, please, if you come up to me afterwards, email me, or we can do some more time at the end. And I know this is a lot of sit and get, and I'm sorry for that. So yes, please get cookies, bars if you need to, keep sugar. But it's really important that you, it makes the application easy as possible for you. So I'll hand it over to you, Dita.
Okay, so hello, everyone. So I know you've been getting a lot of emails from me, and you will continue to receive emails from me about the application, but I think this is very important, and I know I have sent emails out and trying to explain to you how to do the application, but you still have questions. So that's why we decided to go through everything right now, and I took a screenshot. So usually what I did is I send you an email with the direct links for the Mentor Network, for ITTN, and for the directors. So once if you click on those links, it's gonna take you directly to the profile. It's not gonna show you this, but this is our website. So this is the Mentor Network side of our website. So when you go into our website, this is the first thing you're gonna see. So in here on the top, I don't know if you can see, it says ECMN, ECDN, ITTN. But if you are in the Mentor Network, this is what you're gonna see. And in the bottom, right there, it says apply to be a mentor with ECMN. And also we have a faculty, because this time we're asking faculty as well to fill out an application. So this is what you're gonna see. So there we go. Now, these questions has been a lot of them saying that my password doesn't work. What's going on? That's because this is a full entire new application. So that means you can still use your same email and your same password, but you have to sign for a new account. So you sign up for a new account, you put your email, your password, right? And then you click sign up right here on the bottom. Once you do that, it's gonna take you to this. And in here, it says mentor application. You will see this in green, create a profile to get started. This is the first thing that you need to do. Once you do that, this is the profile. I'm gonna just minimize this for a minute. So this is the application, the applicant information. This is what your profile is gonna look like. It's gonna ask you your name, your city, state, your phone number, email, your employee information. Once you're done with all this information, this in green right here, it says save changes. So you click in there. And then we go next. Now it's gonna take you to this, the home page again. And now you see here, it says profile completed. That means that you're done with your profile. Now you need to start the application process. So you click here where it says get started. When you click there, it's gonna take you to the application now. So we have 3 boxes right here. It says 1A is the application, 1B is the acknowledgement, and 1C is the recommendation request. So we're gonna start with the application, and you click over here, open. Once you click there, this is gonna be the application. And in here, you're gonna have, it's gonna ask you, are you applying for a mentor? Are you applying for a lead mentor, or you're applying for a spot manager? So you have those 2 options. So this is what we were talking about. If you feel that you want to be a lead mentor, apply as a lead mentor. Michelle and I are gonna check your application. If we say, yes, this person looks very great, it's gonna, for a lead mentor, we can accept your application. Or if we feel that you need a little bit more help, then you're gonna get an email from me and say, right now, I don't think you have all requirements to be a lead mentor, but you can be a mentor. So I can change that application into mentor or lead mentor. It can be either way.
What if you're a director? Is there?
I will go to the
Okay,
minute.
thank you.
So right now, we're just the mentor network right here. So again, once you fill this, as a mentor, it's gonna ask you a couple different questions as a lead mentor or as a spot manager. Is the only different, it has a couple of different questions. But once again, you fill out this, again, this little green here, mark as complete. We're gonna go to the next part. Now that your application is completed, and again, they're gonna ask you for a resume. I have seen some applications that you guys are uploading your transcripts, and I know before years past, we asked for that. I don't need that. I just need your resume. That's all. Okay, so once you're done with your application over here, it says complete. So you're done with your application. Now you go to your acknowledgement. You click open. And then it's gonna take you here. Again, in here, you're gonna have, I apply as again, mentor, lead mentor, or spot managers. Expectations are gonna be different depending on what you're applying to be. So this is very important. You confirm, you agree, and you mark as complete. After this, then you go to the recommendation request. You click open. In your recommendation request, you're gonna click new request. When you click that, it's gonna take you here. And it's gonna say, again, I am applying to be a mentor, lead mentor, or spot manager. The name of the person that you're gonna use as a reference. If you're a mentor, we're asking you to send this to your supervisor. If you're a lead mentor or applying for a lead mentor, we're asking you to send it to one of your mentees. Okay, that's the only difference. If you're just a mentor, your supervisor. If you're a lead mentor, You need to use one of your mentees, go ahead.
So I already did the application, but I didn't do my supervisor. Can I go back in and change it?
That depends, like if you send it and they already fill it up, you don't need to do another one.
Okay.
But if it hasn't gone through yet, you can, delete a thing. Let me go to the next one. So, okay, let me go back. So if you're just in Jen or someone else, kind of can count because, you know, you work with them. But yes, it's better if you use your supervisor or someone that you have been working with. Okay, so once you fill this, you click send. Now, this is what happened the other end. This is how they're gonna receive the request. It has to say Early Childhood Mentor Network. And we're having some issues, and some people said that they're not getting these emails. So when you send the referral to someone else, please let them know that you sent it, so they can check their inbox, or they can check the spam folder. And if for some reason they haven't answered and you get an email from me and say, hey, I just need the request, that's the only thing that I need because they haven't answered yet, you can log back in here. I don't know if I took a picture of this, no, I didn't. But you can go back into the request form, and there's a little box that it will send remind. So when you click that, it will send a reminder to that person, and you can click every 24 hours until they answer. So you can go back in and send a reminder to them. So after you've done this, this is the home page again. And if you completed everything, it says application complete, acknowledgement complete, request complete. Now you can see here on the side, it says open when it says request, because that's the only one that you can open after you're done with your application. So that's why I say you can go in, open, and send a reminder. So after you're done with this is a very, 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 very important step. You need to click submit. Because if you don't click submit, I don't have your application. Your application is just gonna be intake. It's not gonna be completed. I'm not gonna, like, I can see it. That's why sometimes you will get an email if you haven't completed yet saying, hey, your application is in intake. You need to go back and see what you're missing and click submit. So this is a very, very important step. So when you click submit, this is how your application should look like. In here, it will say application submitted. If it's blue over here, that means you haven't done your application fully. It's not submitted yet. So again, you have to click submit. So now for the directors and the ITTN. In the website as well, if you click in the ECDM, the directors, on the bottom here, it will say apply to be a director. For the ITTN, same thing, apply for the ITTN program. Now, I'm not going to talk much about this because these are simpler than the mentor ones. In the mentor, we do ask you a lot of things. For the ITTN and the director, you just need to be a director or you need to be a teacher for ITTN, like infant toddler teachers. Now, I know some mentors are also part of the ITTN, or some mentors are part of the director network. So what happens is this, your profile, if you did your mentor application, your profile is linked to the director and the ITTN. So let's say you did your application for the mentor network and you want to do your application for the ITTN. Once you log in, it will just take you directly to the application. It won't ask you to do a new profile, just directly to the application. The same thing when you do the director or you do the ITTN and you want to apply for the mentorship as well, the same thing. It's gonna just take you, ask you to log in. You log in and it will take you directly to the application. You do not need to do 2 profiles. Everything is linked. And in a way, for me, it's a little bit easier. So again, this is part of the ITTN, the CDM and ITTN. This is all together. Now, if you don't click on the links that I send you specifically, if you go through the website, this is where you're gonna see first when you enter your application. You will see ECDM, that is a director network, ITTN, there is the infant toddler, and faculty. So these are the 3 type of people that can apply on this website. So again, you see like application intake, it will just take you directly here when you log in. You don't have to do your profile. You just go directly to the application and the acknowledgement. If you can see here, we don't ask for a reference. And this is how the application would look. Simple, not as much as the mentor network. And again, once you're done with the application, you click Save Changes. And then you're completed your application. And then you go to acknowledgement, same thing. You need to put, you're applying for infant toddler, director, or faculty. And you click Save Changes. And this is how it should look. Again, you submit your application, submit your application, submit your application, right? And then you will have a little box here that was like, this has been submitted. And again, it should look like application submitted. So any questions? No? We're good? Okay, even though if you have questions later on, just email me and I can go through it with you as well.
And it's a lot to sit and get, right? Because we just talked to you for over 30 minutes. So questions will probably percolate later, right? So I want to see before we sign off, did we sign off yet? No. No, here's our group. Before we sign off, here are all the spokes. We wave high spokes. Does everybody see us? I think we're, yay, yes, they do. Before we say goodbye to the spokes, I just wanted to announce that one of our lead mentors, who is amazing and has given 4 years to ECMN and is moving on to more exciting, bigger and better things, is going to say goodbye. And I just want to give Andrew a round of applause and say thank you. Thank you so much for all your work, Andrew. Is there anything you want to say?
Let's see. It was really hard for me to make the decision to go. I'm still kind of regretting it a little bit. But Mesh Network has been an amazing part of my life. Everyone has touched me so personally, closely. I just love all of the opportunities that Mesh Network has provided, all the relationships that I've built along the way. You guys are all amazing. I can't tell you how amazing you are enough. All the work that you guys do is amazing. I can't wait to see where the Mesh Network is going. Also be around, but just not specifically.
And do you want to say all the amazing things that you're doing in other places that, so we don't feel completely left?
Yeah. So, as you guys know, I'll still be on the board for the Mexico NACI, so I'll be on that, saloon conference, things like that. I just got a part-time position with CNM as an instructor, so I'm doing that as well. I'm finishing my master's degree, so. And then, side note, I'm trying to get in touch with Colorado and some trainings with them. So,
You're trying to get in touch with Colorado what?
do trainings with them, so I can train them.
Yes.
Yes, lots of big stuff.
Teachers? Teachers or early childhood teachers?
Yeah, really sharp teachers.
Yeah,
I
like
can say
Colorado's trying to get up with New Mexico in early childhood development.
We're in
So,
Colorado.
also we're in Colorado.
Yeah, oh yeah.
They're coming to.
So we'll get Andrew, I focus that we'll get into that mentorship conference in 2025. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
So thank you though for all your work.
Congratulations.
we're gonna sign off and do our surveys. I hope that you were able to hear everything. Thank you for being here so much, and please feel free to email me. Yes, everyone wave. Bye. I know. I hope. Let me stop this one.